and welcome to the Little Historians Magazine TV. Today I'm going to talk to you about evacuation in the Second World War. But before I do, make sure to like and subscribe so you see all our future videos. So what was evacuation? Well, evacuation was where they sent children who lived in the cities to go and live in the countryside during the Second World War. This was because the cities were a target for German bombing raids, whereas the countryside was deemed safer. So, on the 1st of September 1939, 2 days before war was announced by Britain, evacuation began. The British government had known that if war was to happen, that bombing raids on big cities were likely, so they had this plan in place ready, so that if war was to be announced, they could easily get children out to the countryside. Evacuation took a lot of volunteers to make it happen. They needed volunteers to coordinate children getting onto trains, children getting off of trains, and also people to take the children in to their homes. Evacuation was voluntary, but it was very popular because many people believed their children would be unsafe in the cities, so they took any opportunity they could to protect their children. Within the first 3 days of evacuation, over 1.5 million children were evacuated to the countryside. Could you imagine having to leave your parents and go and live with strangers hundreds of miles away? Well, this was the reality for children during this time period. They were sent to live with strangers, and many of them hadn't even been to the countryside before. Lots of children who were evacuated hadn't been to the countryside, and it's even said that some of them had never eaten a vegetable. Lucky them, but the countryside was a completely different way of living to what they'd been used to in the cities. So some children loved it. Other children were very upset and scared about being away from their parents and didn't enjoy the countryside at all. It's even said that some children were scared of simple things like cows because they'd never seen them before. Do you think you'd be scared? When children were evacuated, the parents were given a list of things to take with them. This included simple things like a warm coat, a face cloth, a comb, a toothbrush. Although it might sound like a simple list, many people were quite poor, so they didn't have all of these things. So a lot of children were sent off to the countryside ill-equipped for their new life. By January 1940, lots of these bombing raids hadn't actually happened. So children started returning from evacuation, and actually almost half of them returned back to the cities by 1940. The problem was the Blitz started in 1940, so a lot of them had to go back, although at this point many parents chose to keep their children with them rather than send them back. Evacuation was tough, not only for the children who had to go and live with strangers, but also for the parents who missed their children. But it helped keep them safe. Over the course of the Second World War, over 3 million people were evacuated to the countryside, which might have helped protect them from some of the bombing raids that did happen in the Second World War. Place yourself in the shoes of a child in 1939, being told you had to leave your family to be safer in the countryside. How do you think you would have felt? If you'd like to know more about the Second World War, then make sure to look at the rest of our videos that we've uploaded, as we took a trip to France to see the D-Day beaches. And also get your grown-up to subscribe to the Little Historians Magazine for even more facts. See you again soon. Bye.